Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Star Wars The Bad Batch, Season 1, Episode 2, Cut and Run. Welcome, everybody. Before I get started, I'm going to take care of a little bit of business first, and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching, tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. Also, if you want to know when we'll be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and I have the links to these pages as well, the YouTube channel page, my Facebook page, and for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right, let's get started, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Okay, we understand each other? Yes, we do. Okay, yeah. All right. So not a great episode. It's second episode in. They're not all going to be great, obviously. And it's still, like I said, second episode of the season. That first episode was pretty good. This one had to slow down a little bit because we're getting more into them on the run and them getting used to being on the run. And of course, not being part of the Republic anymore, not being part of the army anymore either, and having to, they are already individuals of themselves, within the clone army, but now they have to find themselves individuals in a group. They're their own little group. So within the universe, I guess you could say. And don't we all need to find that out for ourselves? So they meet up with Cut, who we last saw in the Clone Wars season 2, episode 10, The Deserter is what it was called. And Rex was the only one that knows about Cut, or so we thought, because when they get to the little farm out there, the LaQuaine farm, as it's called, run by Sue LaQuaine, and of course, Cut has actually adopted Sue's kids as well, and all that. And when we get there, Cut's kids, adopted kids, run up to Wrecker and say, "Uncle Wrecker." So obviously, they know each other from some point in the past. I guess every clone does. I don't know. I mean, this is a deserter after all, so who knows what the whole deal is behind that. That was kind of one of those things that kind of stuck in the back of my mind as a little bit of an issue. The other thing that kind of stuck in my mind is that Cut said that Rex had come through just previously, the day before they got there, and told them about the inhibitor chip, but didn't do anything about it. Just kind of left it there. So did he leave the inhibitor chip in? Did he knock Cut out at some point and take the inhibitor chip out? What? We don't know. Obviously, he would still have the inhibitor chip in him since nothing's been done to him, right? Or maybe I'm thinking too much into it. I don't know. So, yeah, Hunter is going to leave Omega with the LaQuaines there, and because they're going to get ready to go off planet because the Empire is now taking over their planet that they're on. Salkukami. Salkukami is the name of the planet there, and that's within the J19 system and all that. Or it's actually called J19 by the Empire and the Republic, but of course the people that live on it actually have a name for that planet. So yeah, they're getting out of there, but they realize they need to have chain codes, and chain codes are the only thing that's really kind of interesting that you can get out of this episode is how fast the Empire moved towards cataloging people all across the galaxy by giving them chain codes. And that was what you needed in order to travel within, I believe, the core worlds, is you needed those little chain codes in order to do that. And that is why you had a lot of people that had unsavory pasts that were going out to the Outer Rim. And that this actually makes a lot more sense now, is that they were, within the core worlds, the Empire was tracking everybody because you needed a chain code in order to travel from place to place, whereas you didn't need a chain code if you were out in the, out in the boonies, if you will, out in the outer rim. And we just see the beginning of all of that, and that's actually the most interesting thing out of this whole episode, is we get to see the beginnings of the Empire. Also, the thing is, if Rex came through the day before they did, you figure about a week has passed since Order 66 has come out. So he's obviously traveling with Ahsoka as well. Did she pop out and say hi to Cut? We don't know. Uh I don't know. Maybe we'll get a Rex episode at some point in time here. So at the end of all of this, the oh well, basically the other interesting thing is that Cut tells Hunter, he says, "Oh, by the way, the Kaminoans don't make clones for no reason whatsoever. So she has a purpose, just like you guys had a purpose, Unit 99. What is her purpose? What is her ability, if you will?" And of course, as people had said here in the chat last time, that yes, possibly she's force sensitive, and that was something that they were doing. Hey, Morks, you're in Oxnard, California. Okay. I don't know why you go to Oxnard. It is better than Texas, I guess. I kid. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So these are the interesting things out of this episode in an otherwise kind of lackluster episode, if you will. Although they did call back to the episode 1 with the whole Nexus cat roaming around there. So yeah, and that's about it. And also we have Omega and Hunter bonding, kind of like father and daughter, which is kind of weird because she's basically the same kind of clone that they are, and yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, she of course Hunter wanted to leave her with the Laquanes. She of course leaves and says, "I'm right where I'm supposed to be with you guys," kind of thing. Yeah. That's where we leave off on this. Yeah, Morks, I'm not in Southern California, so I'm in Northern California. I am far, far away from Oxnard. But thank you for thinking of me on that. You watch some videos on Omega possibilities that she could be a Super Saiyan, that she could possibly be a what is it, a Gundam fighter? What else could she be? She's a vampire. I'm trying to think. Her latent mutant abilities have not kicked in yet. They will when she hits puberty. What else is there? She Once the full moon is exposed to her, she grows hair and becomes a werewolf. Um, I don't know. That's about all I got there. I'm just letting it play out as it will. Dave Filoni is guiding this. I'm letting him do his thing. Yes, we are going to have a few. We're going to have a few like lackluster episodes. It was the same thing with Clone Wars, especially when the Clone Wars first got started. The first season and a half roughly was a little bit on the rough side. There was, a few good episodes here and there within those seasons, but it wasn't about until midway through the second episode or second season that you got a really good story rolling in this, and the characters started finding their own footing. And yes, Crosshair will be back. Yeah. Crosshairs on the other side, on the other hand, might be back as well. We'll see them, in the video. Yeah. I had to actually refrain from calling him Crosshairs as well, Joker. So, and by the way, yes, your prize is going to be sent out fairly soon. I just needed to get a box for it. And now that I've got the box, I can send that thing out. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm forgetting. No, there isn't. That's pretty much it. That's everything on this episode. Like I said, not the greatest episode, so this is going to be a little bit shorter of an episode for you guys. Joker says, I didn't know Peter Cushing started as a good guy. Yeah, Peter Cushing he was making all kinds of movies. When he did Star Wars, A New Hope, he was pretty much at the tail end of his career. I think he was getting ready to retire, as a matter of fact. Same thing with Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness was getting ready to retire. And so these were kind of proper British actors, if you will, and they had done multiple movies, decades worth of movies, and having George Lucas bringing in Peter Cushing and Alec Guinness for these roles that he did in that first movie was pretty good, actually. I mean, bringing in experienced actors never hurts, especially when you have them getting ready to retire and they're not very well known, but they are established actors, and that way you don't need to pay them as much. Jokers, I meant when his character appeared on the Clone Wars. He never really was a good guy, Joe. He always was kind of a weasel. He was always I likened him to an accountant more than anything else. This kind of really kind of weaselly accountant that was always nickel and diming everybody on everything. And so he never really was a good guy. He was an asshole, really, for the most part. And in the Clone Wars, he wasn't that nice of a person either. So, all right. So, what else do I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow is Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and the genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Sunday is the Nevers, the penultimate episode of the Nevers. Monday, I'll be off. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it'll be the next Netflix series, Jupiter's Legacy, which just dropped today. Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be off. And then Friday will be another episode of The Bad Batch. As Penn says, take a look at the schedule. It's up on suspendedfanimation.com. Best place to go. And now that I know there's a community button here on YouTube, I can actually post stuff on YouTube as well. Yeah. I didn't know there was a community button. I just kind of learned that. It only took me 2 years. More than that, somewhere around there. But yeah. Now I can tell you if I'm going to be late or something like that. And yeah. All right. So thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, or tonight in the chat, I should say. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And while you're down there, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. That's why you want to go to suspendedfanimation.com, where I have the schedule up there and all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages as well. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may go past the fence looking for that ball, but only find a Nexus cat, which you really don't want to do. Because then Sue has to save your ass from, well, I don't know if she really saved anybody because she just kind of annoyed the cat more than anything else. So, yes, I will see you tomorrow for Saturday Morning Blast Off. Until then, stay safe, take care, be well, wear those masks, and if you can, get those vaccine shots. They're not going to shoot them into your arm themselves. I mean, you need to go out there and do it. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. Thanks.